Welcome to Dig It, a real estate podcast by Hubbell Realty Company.
Hi, I'm Joe Pietruszynski. I am the Executive Vice President of Hubbell Realty Company. I manage the operations of construction and development, equity formation, and property management. I'm here today with the Mayor of Des Moines, Mayor Connie Boesen. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Connie, I understand you are the first woman mayor of the city of Des Moines. Is that correct?
Yes, it took about 168 years, and we finally got a woman mayor.
I am so honored to be here today. I am with the first woman mayor of Des Moines, and this is my first podcast. So welcome. Thank you for coming. I've done a little bit of history on you before we started this podcast today, and you have other interesting facts behind you. 6 years at city council?
Yes.
And you served at large, is that correct?
I was at large, so I covered the whole city.
Whole city of Des Moines. And what made you come to the city of Des Moines? Like, what was your drive to be a leader of this great community?
Well, it really started back when I did the school sales tax. I was a parent I was in charge of PTA at East High, and I was walking the neighborhoods for the sales tax to pass it, and I saw the lack of development on my side of town, which I live on the east side of Des Moines. And so I got into the East Des Moines Chamber, and from there ended up running for school board. So I was on school board, the Des Moines School Board, for 14 years, again, as at large. And again, it was the passion to make the city better for everybody. And that's why I ended up, after school board, seeing that lack of still development, how do we turn the city around to make it better, primarily out in the neighborhoods. And that's why I ran.
So you grew up on the east side, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
So early on in your life, looking back in your history, you did a lot of work from everything on the east side to neighborhood involvement to working at the state fair. Can you tell me a little bit about
how
your work in the state fair and your living on the east side drove your leadership? Like, tell me some of your experiences. Like what?
Well, first, my dad took a job. He was the manager of the Iowa State Fair. So by his job, we had to move to the fairgrounds. Not a terrible place to grow up. Over 400 acres. It was like a farm in the city. And from there, I started working at 14. I was doing concession business and then ended up creating my own concession, Appalicious and the Salad Bowl, which I still operate today. And
Some
I
of
think
the best egg rolls. They're not apple rolls.
Apple
right?
egg
apple
rolls. Yes. And I am doing the fair. Many people have asked me, if you're the mayor, are you going to do the fair? Yes, I am. But I really, when going to East High too, we kind of have a motto of it's kind of for the service of humanity, but also the lead township against the world. There was just a different attitude that, you're from the east side. And so it brought pride actually, and where you lived and how to support it. Still involved in the East High Alumni Foundation and Association, and very proud of my upbringing and where I came from, and really saw, the differences of the areas of the city and how we could all do better.
I grew up on the south side of Chicago, and I still have this south side in me. Is it kind of like that on the east side?
I would say so.
Those are like your peeps, and those are like the...
It's the pride you have, because sometimes people look, kind of look down a little bit, and, it's always been the east side pride, and I think that it builds character. I think it gives you a good perspective. You have people of all walks of life. And it was very early on. You saw that everybody needs opportunity, and everybody works hard to make their lives better.
So, when we look at the east side of Des Moines, what are some of the things from your experience that we as developers should focus on there? What would I know all Des Moines is important, and we need to focus our resources across the whole metro, but for a developer's focus, what should we look at? What should we bring to the east side to enhance it, to continue the positive aspects that you've grown to love? What should we be doing, looking at?
Well, I think we have to look at first, there's very, very little commercial left, but that's kind of throughout Des Moines. So how do we re-engage some of the commercial business and build that out? And how do we build a balance of homes and not assuming that just one type of home can be built on this side of town? We have all income levels. We have a long history of people that want to stay on the east side, but they need maybe a larger house or they need a newer home. So I think that we need to look at that. And that's kind of an aspect throughout all of Des Moines as far as developers. Don't just assume that this is the only type of home you can build or these are the only people that want to live in this area. And I think that sometimes that's my view of it. Now, maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think you're right. We have a development. It's not in the city of Des Moines. It's just outside. It is located on the east side in Pleasant Hill. And we had a lot of investors look at our project, and they question it, like, why do you want to put this project here? And I said, look at this place. Look at the demographics. Look at the vitality. Look at the workforce. This project's going to be a success. And would you believe it? It leased up to 100% occupancy in record time. And that's because it's a quality product in a quality place, and people just need to understand that, yes, the east side of Des Moines is a vibrant place. I agree with you.
Right. And I know, when you hear people, this is years ago, but somebody wanted to buy at Copper Creek and somebody told them, oh, you don't want to live there because you have to go down that road and that university. And so never assume. I mean,
Right.
there's every level of income, every type of person. I think we just, throughout Des Moines, we just need a good balance.
Sure. So now, as we expand your role to the rest of the metro, I've seen in your campaign promises you're going to focus on safety, the economy, all neighborhoods, new business development on the east side, and throughout the rest of the community, mental health services and neighborhood infrastructure. Let's start with safety. As a developer, what are some of the things we need to consider in regards to safety? What would make Des Moines a better place?
Well, I think as far as safety, I've taken the aspect of how do we offer public safety differently. And that's why we've expanded our crisis advocacy team, because so many of the calls they get are on mental health issues and around mental health issues. And so we have a 24/7 mental health crisis line, or people that can go out 24/7. We also have embedded into our 911 call center a mental health specialist, so that when the call comes in, they can really analyze. So I just say, how do we deliver it differently? Because we know that so many of those calls are geared towards the mental health area that a police officer isn't really the answer. They might need to go out with the advocacy people or the trained specialists, but once they can determine if it's safe, then they can leave and we can have our mental health specialists deal with the issues that the people are having. And we're also in our fire department too. They have what we call frequent callers to 911, and it could be they just need to go to a doctor's appointment or they need their meds or whatever. So they have those numbers, and they have a team of 2 firefighters that are going door to door, really meeting with everybody. What is your needs and what can we do? Can we get you the cab service to your doctor's appointment so you don't
Sure.
call 911? They've also embedded in the homeless shelter assists. Fire medics are there from 8 in the morning till 11 at night. They would literally have to take an ambulance down maybe 500 yards to, and so they're embedded there, so they've cut down the amount of ambulance calls by 70%. By, again, how do we do it differently? How do we offer the services that people need?
My wife is a new employee of the city of Des Moines. She works for your library system.
Oh, great.
And she said it's fascinating watching her colleagues interact with people that do have some challenges, and you've embedded staff there so that when she's assisting people, you have the additional resources to help them as well. So I congratulate you for doing that. That's an important resource to the community.
It definitely is. And in our libraries, we have put a social worker in if she's at the downtown library.
She goes to all of them. She
All of them
rotates
she
through
goes
them all.
in.
Yeah.
But again, and what people are finding is they don't know how to get their Medicare. They don't know how to, it's things that they just need help with. And I don't even know the number of people they've already helped. Again, we've got to figure out how to deliver services differently. We have people that are in need of help. There aren't the services readily available. And how do you acquire those? So that's one of the things as a city we're seeing more social services needed. Polk County offers a lot of it, and we team with them a lot, like on a sobering center. We're teaming with Polk County on a sobering center. Again, if you're picked up and you're walking and you're intoxicated or high, you go get help and hopefully then get remediation so that you're not sent to jail and you go through that whole process.
Access to opportunity. So you're
Yes.
connecting the dots.
We're
to
trying.
make sure you can have that path, the path is in front of you, and you're connecting the dots to lead people through it.
You have to. I know if anybody needs help to try to navigate a system that we have is very difficult.
I'm going to switch gears on you here. One of the things that I believe in the past that you've been passionate about is enhancing our neighborhoods. There is affordability in Des Moines, and it exists in current housing stock. What are some of the things we should be doing or looking at to better that housing stock or make it available for the community as a first-time home for a young family or for a long-time home for someone? What are your thoughts behind what we need to do to work together to get that fixed up and moving in a more positive direction?
Well, there's two things that we're doing in Des Moines, and one is, and I don't know if all the developers know about Invest DSM. Invest DSM is a targeted program that we went into 4 neighborhoods. We are expanding it this year, where we are giving people incentives to build on, remodel, do the home repairs that you need to keep people in their homes and stay in Des Moines. We've seen great success in some of the neighborhoods we've been in. We've also taken empty lots, and whether we've sold them to Home Inc. or Habitat, or even within our case, Invest DSM, they've built some homes to reinvest. We have a home on 31st and Cottage Grove that was moved over, a historic home, totally restored. And we're trying to maintain the character of the neighborhood, but also enhance it so it's in a house that people want to live in today. We're doing another project called Improving Our Neighborhoods. It's ION. And it's for people on an income level of 80% area median income, where you can get up to forgivable loans for the exterior. So new roofs, new windows, new porches. And I see that as a great enhancement for seniors that can't afford but want to stay in their home.
Sure.
And keep it in good repair so that we don't get it into a blighted condition. I think that when we passed the sales tax, we had over 2,000 structures that were deemed nuisance. And we need to get a positive direction and get some of these buildings down. We need to get them repaired because they are affordable. We have a tremendous amount of affordability in Des Moines. Some of it just needs to be brought up to a better standard, and maybe the extra bathroom added in because people want 2 bathrooms now, or you need an extra bedroom or things like that. But you have the land, you have the structure, and sometimes they just need a little tender loving care.
So that's providing affordability for the existing Des Moines area, and there's always the new growth areas of Des Moines. Before the podcast started, you and I were talking about ideas on how we could bring affordability to the city of Des Moines, not only in existing areas, but in new areas, the new development efforts. There's a lot of ideas out there that developers are exploring to bring affordability into new construction. One of the ideas you had was a geothermal system, a shared geothermal system. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of your ideas behind that and what drove you to think about that?
I've always said that one of the things is how do we get more, our goals for our Adapt DSM is more energy efficiency
Sure.
and resiliency, sustainability. And so geothermal, I know, has been a huge opportunity for the schools to provide heating and air conditioning for schools at a much cheaper rate. So if you have a field and you're going to build how many 100 homes, can we connect some of these to a geothermal system? So to create efficiency and sustainability at the same time. I think I read about it somewhere, but I know that individually, we have done buildings. We did the Animal Rescue League building. It's got a geothermal system. I think we just have to get creative on how we can be more energy efficient so we can meet our sustainability goals. Because at the end of the day, it saves money for our citizens and becomes more affordable.
I wouldn't call this energy efficiency. I'd call it more effective in managing stormwater for the city of Des Moines. But Hubbell Realty Company and the city of Des Moines partnered on a development downtown called Gray Station, and we incorporated some new environmentally, I don't want to call it sensitive, but environmentally more efficient systems that treat stormwater before it's released into the river. we worked in close partnership to make sure that we allocated the right resources, we put the correct engineering in place, we put the correct leadership in place to do something that only benefited that neighborhood, but a vast majority of downtown stormwater. So you're thinking this idea would be similar. If we could work together on some kind of system that worked just beyond stormwater management and looked at how we're using our energy more efficiently, more effectively.
I think so. I mean, there are people that are much more in tune of what's going on, and really builders are the ones that have the ideas and they have the wherewithal and the knowledge. But I think we need to work together to make sure that when we do build, that we have the proper stormwater, because I've seen the damage of where we build over, where the rules you could build wherever, and we saw that in 2018, that we've had to remove hundreds of homes because of lack of good stormwater management. And also the fact that we tandemly need to build quality so that these homes are sustainable for 100 years.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it ends up costing not only the consumer more money at the end, but it comes back to the city.
You want to sustain your value in the community,
right.
Sustain your tax base, which then sustains your services and better quality of life for everybody.
It's kind of that whole cycle.
The circle of life.
Yes.
I want to go back to some more grandiose questions with you. So you're the mayor of Des Moines, you're in this leadership position. If you could look into the future, what would your ultimate dream be, your vision of what you'd like to accomplish in your leadership for Des Moines? I know you have all these different initiatives going. What do you see Des Moines? Can you express it in more high-level terms, like your utopian dreams for what you want the city to be?
Well, it's a vibrant city that people choose to come to. It's their first choice, and that we have a system that works for everyone, and that we have a good transit system, we have sustainability programs, and that we have quality housing that people can live in in 100 years. When you see the older homes and you hear they were built 100 years ago, I want to be able to say that we still have that in Des Moines, and we have, it's really vibrancy, good economic base, a good mix of business, living. You know, we look at downtown. Downtown has totally changed.
Right.
The retail is now on the east side of the river, which 25 years ago nobody would have thought of, but it is a vibrant, vital area, and we need to create that on the other side of the river. But downtown's a neighborhood, right. And so it's, how do we evolve and how do we change? I did retail for 34 years. I always had to change.
Right.
So for me, the vision is to make sure that all aspects and all corners of this city have that vibrancy. We have a neighborhood up in Highland Park now that you see that transformation. And it's young entrepreneurs and long-term people that have had a passion and a desire to make it better. And you see that excitement coming. It has affordability. It has great convenience to downtown, to Riverview, that whole 6th Avenue corridor. So how do you transform an older city? So that's the excitement, is that you see how you can transform and make things new again. It's just, I'm a little impatient, so it's how do you do it faster? But it really takes help from the developers to say, we believe in Des Moines and that we want to come back into the city and make a difference.
We do believe in Des Moines. Des Moines is our home. This is where we raise our families. You know, I don't live in Des Moines proper. I live in Ankeny, but I swear every prom picture, every homecoming picture is down in Des Moines.
Probably at the Capitol or downtown.
Well, there are a lot of projects that through Hubbell, the real company, I got to help build. And I'm so proud of them because they've enhanced the community and they've become really iconic places. I started my career actually working for the city of Des Moines as a city planner. I did.
Well, hey, everybody starts in Des Moines. We just got to keep
Patricia Zingsheim at the time put me on. And Gary Lozano was to wrap up the Simon Estes Amphitheater, which is all being reconstructed now. And I worked on the 235 expansion. I worked on the west, at the time I think they called it the West Gateway.
Yeah, the Western Gateway.
Western Gateway, working through those property buyouts. And at that time, it just seemed so insurmountable. And, Jim Hubbell. I worked on a committee with him on the east side to redevelop the whole area out by the Capitol.
Right.
And that was just early visioning. But it was the hard work of community leaders and partnerships with developers, working hand in hand to make the vision happen. And I agree with you. I think it takes someone with tenacity like you to just make sure, and in patience, to make sure that it happens.
Well, it does. It really, we can't thank, when you look back over the years, the business leaders that stepped forward and said, we want to make a difference, whether it be Civic Center, Science Center, all the things that went on downtown, just to name a few. And we just had great news. Yesterday, we approved for American Equity coming downtown with 650 employees.
Fantastic.
And it's a way that, if you want many things to work, we need a consolidation. We need businesses downtown. We need people, the vibrancy, and we, I think, have great opportunity. And like you said, this is the core. You want a strong core. You have to have a strong core of any city. And unfortunately, retail has changed, so a lot of retail has gone. And we've just got to figure out how we bridge that and what is the new thing that's going to bring people. Is it entertainment more? I think that we're seeing some transition and things. The new golf thing that's going to go into
Top golf.
is going to go into the old Yonkers building. How do you repurpose even office buildings into housing? Because people still have a desire to come live downtown. And it's not just the young. It's people my age who want out of their house. They don't want the responsibility. So I think there's still a great deal of excitement and things that we can do in Des Moines. We might have to do them differently, but that's the good part. I mean, maybe we re-envision what cities should be.
Oh, it was fat putter mini golf. That's what it was. It was like a
Oh, is
whole
that
mini
what's
golf system down in the yes.
I
And
do.
for Yonkers.
I do think entertainment, attracting people to come downtown, is the energy it's going to need. Why do I want to live here? And we're doing great things together. The stuff that's happening through Icon Water Trails, the investment in different park systems and events, and the different celebrations of culture that occur in the city. Those are all things that I think will help continue to drive the success of the core and expand into the other areas.
And I think that's what we're known for, all the variety of entertainment, from whether it be the art festival, the cultural fairs that we have, and then going into even the Iowa State Fair. I mean, it's the largest event in Des Moines, and it sits on the east side of Des Moines. It's a great opportunity to showcase. It showcases all of Iowa, but it also showcases Des Moines.
I think it's world renowned.
Yes.
The fair now. I have relatives still in the Chicagoland area that they make their trek out here just to experience this great thing we have in central Iowa.
It really is an experience. I mean, it's the opportunity to bring rural and urban together in a way that showcases our history, but also can showcase what's going forward.
Wait, going back to your work you just mentioned the fair again, so I got to bring this up.
Joe, move the mic just a little closer.
I was fascinating reading some of your stories on your campaign about working there. Who is the coolest person you ever met there at the state fair?
Trying to think of all the people.
You've had to have met movie stars and all kinds of people.
Right. My dad was the manager that started bringing all the name entertainment. I remember I got done working at my this concession they had for Fair Board kids. It was like checking things in, sold pop candy and cigars.
Yeah, I saw the cigars. I think you were like 14.
I was 14. Yeah, just put them up, Swisher Sweets.
Dealing out tobacco.
Yeah, dealing out. And we checked, that's before they had some place to check in. It was in the administration building. I think I worked 8 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, my twin sister and I. We got done and we were up at the house, because the house is on the fairgrounds. It's the house that's still there. And Paul Anka walks through. And my dad would offer any star, do you want to go see the fair? So he's coming through our kitchen. The Fifth Dimension came to our place, so meeting all of them. Those are the main people, and super nice people.
So cool.
So it was an experience, yes.
Did you get to attend all the different concerts and do all the stuff, or were you mostly just working behind a booth?
I was primarily working, and today there is no way with I have 5 locations. So
it's that East Side hard work ethic.
Yeah, it's like 7 in the morning to about 1 o'clock at night.
Fun.
I love that.
Fair time is fun time.
It's go around fair time. I'm not cutting you off. If you have some more questions, we
No,
can keep
I'm
going.
okay.
We're at a good
here?
time. I actually have one question, if that's okay.
That's fantastic.
I was wondering if you could tell us more about your, I saw a comment about listening sessions. Are those something that you're exploring and thinking of doing, and what does that entail?
Well, I have done a couple of them where I will go out. I've had kind of difficulty scheduling. I have another one that I'm going to go to. Just going out to listen to the people. I go to a lot of the neighborhood meetings still. We have 49 neighborhood associations, so there's a lot of meetings that we can go to. But trying to get out to communities that maybe don't come to neighborhood meetings. So I might structure it a little bit different, but I've putting it out there that if somebody wants to have a meeting where I can hear your concerns and hear what you would like to see in Des Moines. So it's really open to, I'll be happy to meet with anyone and discuss what we're doing.
Awesome. Well, it's time for the off the rails section. If you two are ready.
Let's go, Claire.
Off the rails.
We're going off the rails. So again, it's a random question generator. I didn't get to choose. It selected for me. So the question is, and either of you can go first, what is one of your greatest values that guides your life? It's a deep question on this fine day. What is one of the greatest values that guides your life? It could be a saying. It could be a value.
Mine is more treat people how you'd like to be treated. Treat people fairly and equitably, and it'll be what I've always tried to do.
For me, we're all the same. And everyone deserves equal respect, no matter who they are or where they come from. It really drives me. We're no different in any situation we are in life, and everyone deserves equal respect for each other.
It's a good one, guys. Both very good. Very good answers. Awesome. Well, anything else that we didn't?
Off the rail?
I just want to thank you, Mayor. This is my very first podcast with the very first mayor of the city of Des Moines, and it's been quite an honor to talk to you today. So thank you for your time.
Well, thank you for having me. I think anytime we can get out and have conversation, it makes it much better so people understand where we're all coming from. And I appreciate this opportunity, and I think you did a fine job for your first one.
Thank you.
Thank you both for being on today. And again, catch Dig It Real Estate Podcast wherever you get your podcast. You can also catch us on YouTube. And that's it. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.